Khamzat Chimaev. You've seen his Fight Island fights, you've seen his face in the media, everyone is talking about Khamzat.
And today, we're going to talk about why everyone's talking about him. We need to start off with why. Why are we talking about him? He's literally had less than 10 minutes of octagon time.
That's true, and he just got into the UFC in 2020. He's had 2 total fights, but the reason we're talking about him is because he blew the brakes off both of his opponents.
Oh my gosh, it was absolutely insane. Not only the spectacular finishes he got, but the fact that he got them 10 days apart in 2 different weight classes also.
So Chimaev first fought in the UFC July 15th on Fight Island, and he fought John the Welsh Wrecking Machine Phillips. Phillips is a good striker, not so great on the ground.
And this was at middleweight.
Yeah, 185. So what does Chimaev do? Takedown, ground and pound, destroyed the guy. It was like a 10-7 round the first round. And Phillips got out of the first and came out for the second, ready to kind of redeem himself after that first round.
Yeah, but didn't.
What happened? Bam! Takedown, ground and pound, eventual darce. Fight's over before midway of the second round.
Yeah, Chimaev displayed his expert wrestling. His ability to just snatch the takedown. He covers his takedown attempts so well. I think in this one he hit a head kick and then ducked down for a takedown. He cuts the corner so fast that they're on their backs before they even know what's going on.
Yep. And you'll see a lot of fighters set up the takedown with a couple punches, like a 1-2, jump in. A head kick into a takedown is not something you see every day. Like Joe was saying, 10 days after fighting Phillips, he goes down to welterweight and he fights Reese McKee and he absolutely obliterates the guy. He picks McKee up, carries him to his corner, Chimaev's corner, puts him down, and goes to work with a non-stop barrage of ground and pound. It was unreal how many shots he hit McKee with before the eventual stoppage.
Yeah, the pace that he was able to keep the entire time to stay on top of this guy and also to control the position so well. He grabs the Dagestani handcuffs, he uses his hook in a way that is very similar to Khabib, his style, which is completely effective against everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it was amazing to see how fast he could finish these guys.
Yeah, that far wrist control combined with the vicious ground and pound, and McKee was able to get to his back to try to fight out, improve his position. Chimaev went to mount, more ground and pound. He hooked the leg again, he hooked the wrist again. Bam! Popping shots.
Yeah.
It was one of the best displays of ground and pound you've ever seen. Like Joy said, very similar to Khabib, but maybe even more volume to the ground and pound.
Maybe.
Maybe. And that is what we've seen of Chimaev in the UFC so far. Now, he's got a fight booked on the 19th of September. He's fighting Gerald Meerschaert at 185 pounds. The interesting thing is he also has a fight booked a month from now against Damian Maya, the grappling wizard who has been a top-level fighter at both 185 and 170 and has been there for years. The UFC thinks so highly of this guy, they are willing to double book him.
We are in unprecedented times with how the world is right now in the current situation, but at the same time, he has to not only beat Meerschaert, who is a perennial contender in the UFC. He did have a pretty bad knockout recently. I believe that was his last performance.
Yeah, early first round knockout.
Yeah, so he's coming off a loss. I feel like they kind of just gave him Meerschaert
to build him. That's exactly what they did.
And on to the next one. And I think that Damian Maya is also a stepping stone for Chimaev, according to the UFC.
Well, the thing is, Maya's at the end of his career. He has either 1 or 2 fights left, and I think he's only interested in taking fights that appeal to him. So apparently, a fight with a force like Chimaev appeals to Maya, and I think it's going to appeal to all the fans, provided Chimaev can get past Mearshart, which is not a guarantee. Who doesn't want to see somebody with grappling, offensive grappling, like Chimaev, take on a guy who, when he gets you to the ground, it's pretty much game over in the form of Damian Maya?
Yeah.
That's a grappling fan's dream match in MMA.
We definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
We know that. Seeing Damian Maya over the years just completely dominate ground positions on people like Jorge Masvidal,
Carlos Condit, that was gnarly. The Rick Story rear naked choke where Story's, he's getting torqued up and you see the snot and blood running out of his nose from the pressure of the choke. Maya is on the next level of grappling.
He has a certain entry. He gets the takedown that he wants. He gets the back. He backpacks you until you submit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Can he do that to Chimaev? I mean, the fight's gonna go to the ground. This is not gonna be a K1 match. This fight is going to the ground. Can Maya get on top of Chimaev? Because if he can't, I don't think he submits him from the bottom.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Chimaev would be able to nullify a lot of Maya's grappling, but I really definitely need to see what happens. I have to.
Yeah.
Who wins that?
I don't know. And for that to happen, Chimaev has to get past Mearshart, who feels disrespected. He literally said he wants to injure Chimaev so that he cannot fight Damian Maya.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, that's how pissed off Mearshart is.
But understandably so.
Understandably so. Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Not only is Chimaev an exceptional, exciting fighter who is relentless, he eats, breathes, sleeps MMA. He lives at his gym. He trains at All-Star. He has a fantastic team behind him. He has Alexander Gustafsson is one of his main training partners who just fought at heavyweight. Mm-hmm. So he's got a big training partner. His corner is just obviously so important to him that he picks up his opponents and brings them there. So yeah, it's effective. Might as well keep with the plan.
This is something that you see fighters do occasionally. They'll try to jockey for position. If they get the takedown, they want it to be near their corner so they can get coaching advice. But it seems like Chimaev is almost doing it as a point of pride. I mean, both his UFC fights, he put McKee and he put Phillips in his corner. That's demoralizing for your opponent, and it shows that you value your corner's advice that much that you're willing to possibly lose the position, expend energy to get the fight directly in front of them. You can tell that he's dedicated to his team.
He comes in with some serious wrestling pedigree. He was a 2-division champion in Sweden. From what I understand, he didn't even lose a single point in any of his matches when he won his title. So, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Which is crazy. And this brings us to something maybe people don't know about Chimaev. He was born in Chechnya, but he's been living in Sweden a long time. People might be inclined to think, oh, he's a Sambo guy, but he's not. In an interview, he said, no, I don't do Sambo. I do freestyle wrestling.
Yeah,
there's a big difference.
Yeah, and you can totally tell when he goes for his takedowns, he grabs the double leg, he cuts the angle, he takes them down. Now, when he gets to the ground, the grappling becomes more of what everyone compares to Khabib style grappling, but the wrestling is very, very freestyle wrestling.
Yep. Now, in case you're wondering, Khamzat Chimaev also trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Can you fucking imagine what other blue belts have to deal with training with him? Just kidding, I doubt he actually trains with blue belts, but come on. Another in a long line of MMA blue belts like Derek Lewis, like I think Mighty Mouse was a blue belt for a while. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, John Jones was saying not that long ago during one of his suspensions that he was like a white belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Come on now.
Yes. Give that man, I don't know, make him take more jiu-jitsu so you could get him at least a purple belt or something.
That's
something.
Fucking bullshit.
Other random facts about Chimaev. The scar on his face. How'd he get that?
He had an accident when he was 2 years old. He fell, hit his head on some stairs, and he ended up losing some teeth. He has permanent breathing problems, so it is something traumatic.
Can you imagine not being able to breathe out of one nostril and putting the pace that guy puts? Very impressive.
Yeah. And not only that, he talks a pretty sick game in his post-fight interviews.
His post-fight interviews are so good. They're the exact opposite of the way he fights. He's got this laid-back, laconic interview style where he thinks things are a little funny, and he just tells you, I'm going to smash, and you believe him.
Everybody.
Everybody.
He'll fight tonight, he'll fight tomorrow.
He said he could fight an hour after his last Fight Island fight. He said, maybe you give me 1 hour, I fight again.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I don't think he was kidding.
Yeah, no. His mic skills are definitely another reason why everyone just wants to see what he does next.
Yes. And speaking of media, recently he called out both the Diaz brothers. I think he wanted them back to back. I think he was implying on the same night. Now, I don't think they should do that. What I think is they should make him fight both the Diaz brothers at the same time.
Handicap match.
Yes. Chimaev versus Nick and Nate Diaz. You could do it, maybe, you know how Russia, they have those team MMA matches? You could do cross-promotion with one of those organizations. It would be great. 2 million pay-per-views sold, guaranteed. I would watch. I would watch.
I guess I'd watch, but oh my gosh.
So while we're babbling this random stuff at you, we could actually talk about his record a little bit.
Yeah.
You've seen him finish 2 fights in the UFC before the end of the second round.
He's 8-0.
Yeah, and guess what? Every other one of his fights finished before the end of the second round. Yeah. He has never seen a third round in his MMA career, either professionally or amateur.
Unheard of at this level in the UFC, where you're third on a card.
Mm-hmm.
Unheard of to have less than 10 minutes of octagon time, unless you're CM Punk, of course. But
that's a whole nother story.
Maybe we'll do a video on that. Give us a thumbs up.
Chimaev's doing a little better than CM Punk.
A little.
In the MMA, yeah.
Yeah.
His transition from wrestling went a little better than CM Punk's transition.
For sure.
Different kind of wrestling, but that's okay.
Yeah. So why do we want to watch Chimaev fight? Because he's exciting, he's entertaining, he finishes people, he does what he says he is, he's gonna smash everybody, and he wants to fight constantly. Why do we love Khabib? Because of his total domination. We're getting a very similar total domination so far, very early to tell if this will be like a total domination throughout his career, but we're getting it. With Khabib, we were getting it in the span of years because his fight time, he didn't really fight as much, but with Chimaev, we're getting it all compacted.
To back.
Because he wants to fight. So not only is he exciting, not only does he finish fights, not only is it this uncharted territory because he's so new to the UFC, he wants to constantly fight.
He is capitalizing on a worldwide situation that has put more viewers in front of a TV and has opened up way more spots for fighters who want to be active. He's doing everything right. And if you want to compare him to Khabib, which his manager Ali Abdelaziz did, he said that Chimaev is like Khabib 2.0. I don't know if that's true. I will tell you one thing. I think just based on the performances they put on, I'd say statistically Chimaev is more dominant because Khabib lost to Gleison Tibau in his first fight in the UFC. That is a fact. Go watch Nurmagomedov versus Tibau, score that fight, and then come back to my comment section and tell me that Khabib won that fight. Facts.
I disagree. I
think
you're
Khabib
wrong.
Won. He lost.
Well, that's a video for another day. Thumbs up if you want to see that one.
Let's make it right now. Nah. Let's make it now.
We'll save that for a rainy day.
Okay, fine.
Back to Chimaev.
What else? What else do we have to say about the guy?
He's the total package.
So far.
I
would like to just put a bit of logical thinking into this.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say, look back at some of the fighters that UFC has pushed too fast. You could look at Johnny Walker. Went from being considered a contender for John Jones' spot to fighting below Chimaev on the card coming up this weekend. Look at maybe Dan Hardy, who came in super hot in the UFC. They gave him a title shot against GSP, and then he dropped a bunch of fights back to back.
Look at just recently, Edmund Shabazian coming in from the Tuesday Night Contender Series. They put a rocket fuel underneath his ass and shot him to the main event of a fight night card. And that turnaround time was very quick. And it seems as though they pushed him a little too fast because he got stopped by Derek Brunson.
He did. And, you know, those are just a few examples. So that's why when I think about Chimaev, I think insane amounts of potential.
Pump the brakes a little.
Super fun to watch.
Yeah, we're going a little hard.
But when we're talking about, like Dan Hardy was talking about, he said, can we book him versus Usman? Is it too late to do that? Guy, he's had 2 fights in the UFC. Yeah. Give the guy a few more fights. You're doing the right thing. They're giving him Mearshart.
Yes.
The Maya fight will be really telling about how good Chimaev actually is.
Oh, yeah.
But in all fairness, from what we're seeing, I think he has the potential to be a champ. 170, 185. I don't even know what his preferred weight division is. I don't know.
He seems to make weight very easily to 170 because he fought at 185 and then he fought at 170 10 days later. And he looked amazing in doing so.
Yeah.
So, who knows? He could hold as many titles as he wants. Are you guys going to watch the fights on September 19th? You going to watch Chimaev? Are you on the Chimaev hype train? Let us know in the comments. We definitely want to hear what everyone has to say because we are definitely on the hype train. We definitely want to see all the title shots and all of these wonderful things happen for him. But we are trying to remain a little, skeptical, take a break.
Pull back for a second. Let's see. Let's look. Let's watch the fights. It'll be fun. As always, thank you for watching, guys. Please, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Your support means a lot to us. And we look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah.